Clutch Trucker filmed before a live and freshly groomed studio audience. That's Rusty, the world-famous meatball dog. Hey YouTube, Clutch Trucker here. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of the Clutch Trucker channel. On my way up to the TA in, I call it Milldale. I think they call it the TA Southington. It's near Waterbury, Southington, Milldale, Connecticut. You know, in Connecticut, all the towns are mashed all together. So anyway, that's where we're going to be staying tonight. Had my delivery at Costco down in Monroe Township, New Jersey. They actually were pretty quick. I got there, I had a 6:30 appointment, got there at 6:15 Eastern. I was out of there by 7:40 Eastern, so not bad at all. Just a little over an hour, can't complain. So we're on I-84 here in Connecticut, and we're about to come up on some town. I can't remember what it is, but thought it'd be fun to go back and forth between the dash cam and the in-cab shot here. Everything's nice and green up here now. And for those of you who watched my last video, yes, my truck is still running wonderfully. That seems to have been the fix. I'm so excited. My truck is running as it should, and now with the new injectors and then that fix, it is running great. It's a beautiful thing, baby. It's a beautiful thing. Look at you. Some moron deciding to just pull off on the shoulder for no reason. You always notice in the summer months, that happens all the time. People will pull off on the shoulder because little Susie needs her dinosaur toy in the back of the car, and they'll pull over on the shoulder to do that. That is so dangerous. You should never pull over on the shoulder unless it's an absolute emergency. And usually when you see people do that, they're within like a mile of an off-ramp. So dangerous. What if somebody's not paying attention and they plow into you, you know, and kill your whole family? Don't pull off on the shoulder to do something stupid like that. Just a little warning. Alright, we're about coming into Waterbury. It's kind of a cool looking town. I like how there's this big high bridge we go across and you can look down on the whole town. It's kind of got a neat view to it, so this would be a good time for some dash cam. One thing I want to mention about Connecticut that always cracks me up is nobody pronounces it the way it's spelled. You don't say Connecticut. It's kind of spit when he said it. Just like, you know, nobody says Wednesday or diaper or February. Why are words spelled that way when nobody says them that way? Always kind of wondered that. It's kind of misleading because, you know, you're coming in, you got all these trees around, there's maybe a couple little buildings off to the side, and then it really opens up, you go across this big bridge, and there's this whole town.
I-84, then keep right.
Just kind of sitting down there. So, I think it looks kind of cool. Chris Kelly, my meatball cabbie from England, I think this town might look a little more like something you'd see in the England area. You'll have to give me a...
I-84 East.
Thank you, Garmin. You'll have to give me a comment and let me know what you think about that. Let's see.
Continue on I-84.
Here's the town. Of course, they're always doing work through here. And we're way up high. Kind of coming in above the town. I think it's pretty cool looking. Anyway, main whole point of this video is, while I was driving overnight, my little clock that's up here in my dash, and I'll show you some video of that here in just a second, started futzing out on me. And my pressure gauge for my my drives right next to it. That light's been out for a couple of months now. So I figure if I gotta break into the dash to fix one, we might as well do both. So I figure it'd be a good tutorial on opening up your dash and changing out a bulb and a gauge and changing out that clock. Yeah, I'm currently stopped at the rest area / way station here near Danbury, Connecticut, just after you cross the into the Connecticut border from New York on I-84, heading up to the TA in Southington or Milldale or Waterbury or whatever you want to call it. And after they took a while to get through there, and they roll everybody across, and then it's also a rest area, so I parked and went in and used the restroom, and I thought, well, this is a good time for me to tackle a couple of other issues that have come up. The life of a trucker. Fix one thing, something else gets screwed up. Look at this right here, my little clock up here on my dash. Yeah, it's dusty. It looks worse on the video than it really is. It's been freaking out all night. Switching between 12 a.m. and then, like, I'll try to reset the stupid thing, and it doesn't take. And it just flashes back between that and like 3:45 a.m. or whatever. It just picks a time. So I'm gonna have to get that out of the dash. I've got another one just like it back in the bunk that I don't use. See, there it is. Now it's saying 4:46. It is 9:23. I leave it on Central Time. But like I said, I've got another one back in the bunk that I can replace it with, instead of spending a whole bunch of money on, because God knows what Freightliner wants for this thing. They probably want like $100 for it. And then this gauge right here, this is my air suspension gauge. I showed you a video of that real quick when I was doing the Appway stuff. And its light in it went out. I replaced that once, 3 years ago maybe. The bulbs in there don't seem to last very long. So since I got to replace that clock, I'm going to pull the dash apart. You got to pull the dash open to do this, to do both of them. So I'm going to get the bulb out of that one so I can go to the shop at the TA when I get there and see if they have one. And I'm going to replace the clock with the one in the bunk in the back, and I'll show you where that is. Alright, let me show you where the other clock is back here in the bunk. First off, there's Rusty. Here, got a good shot of him after his grooming. You can see his nice new collar on there and everything. Yep, he's feeling much happier. You're a much happier dog now that you're groomed, right, Rusty? Right? Are you gonna come up real close and say hi? You want to be petted? Yes, of course. Happy dog. All right. Well, my coat and pillows are blocking it back here, but see, there's another one of those right there. It's identical to the one up in the dash. And like I say, this one, it's, back here behind my pillows and stuff. I never use it as a clock at night. So I'm going to swap that out with the one in the dash. Might as well have the not working one back here. Alright, now to get to the dash and to get all this apart, you got to pop out the tray at the bottom here first. It has little snappy pop things that come out. Whereas Rusty always freaks when I have to take this apart. Take that out. Then got a couple of screws that are holding this thing on. So I got to take those out, and it just snaps out on that end, and I believe on this end as well. But first we got to get those screws out. Alright, so there's that little panel is off the front there. So whenever I have this panel open, it's an opportunity to try to clean a little bit of the stuff underneath there where you can't normally get to, so I just kind of did some of that. I'm going to clean the whole dash and everything once I'm done. No point in doing it right now. This little part, it's real easy because now it just pops down. It hides my wire and a lot of dirt that goes up to my 12-volt thing. Because that's one thing about this Coronado. It's an older design, so it only has the one 12-volt plug-in down here in the front. So I run the cord around underneath the panel, and then I run it up here. Like I say, I'll throw all that dirt. We'll clean all this up here. And it pops up here, and then I have it Velcroed there to the side of my dash shelf, so I can plug my stuff in, like my one for my GPS, one for my dash cam, and one for my phone booster. And a little USB plug in front to charge my headset. Oh, and there's Sully, by the way. Alright, I couldn't stand it. I cleaned it up a little bit. already. So anyway, that's behind that panel. All right, took those two screws out right down there, which held that little part on that was right here. The bottom of this dash panel has these clips where it just kind of slides into here. Wow, look at all the dirt next to that one. Trying to dig that out of there. It looks so much worse on the camera. And I got this plug here, or this screw here I've got to undo for this post, this piece. Then I should be able to pull this dash open. Alright, now the other thing I got to do is unplug my iPod up here. I cord to that. I have that running down through this area and everything, and it pops out over here to go into my radio. So it's just kind of in the way right now, actually. Let me get rid of this other line leading from the audio part of it. You can see I snake my cord around from my phone. That's where it plugs into the bottom right there. And I plug it over here into my radio, into the USB port there for charging. Alright, pull that screw out. This panel should just pop off. Yep, there you go. It pops off. Now, next to the dust we just uncovered, there's two more screws right there we gotta undo. And of course, I forgot there's these two screws on the left side of the dash. We just did undo these two. I did clean right there because that was driving me nuts. Alright, so we'll undo those two. Then we've got to pull off the cover, these valve cover things. Those unscrew. So we'll get to that in a minute. These are real easy to take off. You literally just start to unscrew them. Alright, so there you go. There's one.
Hey, sleepy.
And here comes number two.
I was in that pair of Queens, was it?
Now that should be about everything. Shut off the CV. Should be about everything, so we can pull this panel out now. So I'll try to slide it up and pull out at the same time to get it out of those little brackets down there at the bottom. Alright, now I've got it pulled out. Not a lot, because there's a whole bunch of wires back there I don't want to pull out. So I got to do about enough to where I can see back there to see how to get this clock out and the light for that gauge. We're just going to try that now. So there was one nut on the back of that one, of this little bracket that pushes against the back of the panel, and that's what holds it in place. I took the nut off. Okay, now with that bracket off the back, the clock simply pulls forward and out. You can see its wires there, and hopefully we'll have a plug. Aha, there's the plug. Okay, so we've got easy access to that. I don't know why this thing isn't working right, but... See now, flashing. See how quickly the dots are flashing in between the 12 and the zeros? And it just showed a 5 o'clock time a second ago. There's something wrong inside. This is just, I think it's just dying. Alright, so we're just going to leave that hanging there. And then now, I shouldn't have to unplug or undo this gauge, but there is. I don't know if you can see it down there. Let me get some light on it. Yeah, that's the one we're looking at. I should be able to just unscrew. This is where the bulb goes in, right there. So let's see if I can just twist that out of there or something. Yep, see, here it comes. So there's the bulb that goes into the back of that light. And I just turned my panel lights up. My markers are on, so that should be lighting up if it was working, but it's not. Alright, so right there, there's the bulb. It just came out of that little socket right there. And you see it's just the glass end with the little wires around the bottom of it. It's a fairly standard bulb, so I bet you TA will have that. Alright, so now I got that all pulled apart. We're just going to kind of put the dash up there well enough to get me the last 40 miles up the road to the TA. So because I'm going to have to take it all back apart when I get up there, I just want it to hold in place while I'm driving. So I'm going to put the one screw in there and one screw in there just to get me back up the road. Okay, so put that one back in just to hold the dash in place. Obviously I need to put my air knobs back on so I can pull the brakes off and get going. What do you think? So those are real easy to twist on. So looks like it's going to be a fairly quick and easy. Now that's upside down. I'm going to turn it, let it go back 2 turns. Same with that one. So, yeah, too bad this clock is dying, but what are you going to do? Now it says 5:03. It's all over the place. Just, yeah, obviously it's it's got issues. So there you go.
Alright, here we are at the TA in Southington, Connecticut. Or Milldale, or Waterbury, or whatever the hell you want to call it. There's the truck and trailer. It needs a bath, but it was raining all night. I didn't see the point. So we're out here. We're parked for the space right next to the grass. We'll let Rusty out and do his thing. So, yep, I always try to pick my parking spot based on where the dog needs to go. Rusty! Here he comes.
Okay, before we move on with the rest of the replacement, yes, I'm parked here at the TA in Milldale, Connecticut, Southington, whatever you want to call it. Did get my bulb, and here's those right here. The number 194 light bulbs is what it needed. That's what it looks like right there, okay? The other one was all silver because it burned out and it made the inside all silver. Did some shopping while I got here. I had like $260 plus in TA points. I've had this little ratchet kit in my truck that I keep on the inside, just for smaller repairs on the inside and so forth. And it's, you know, little case things all falling apart. And it doesn't really work all that well anymore. I bought it like 10 years ago when I first got into trucking. And I thought, hey, I've got 260 in points. Let's do some shopping. All right, yeah, when the ladies go shopping, they tend to buy shoes, clothes, things for the house, whatsoever. When the guys go shopping, what do we buy? Tools and related equipment. So, yeah, I had my $260 in points. I thought, let's make a dent into that. So, like one thing I desperately needed was a new calculator, a little mini calculator, because I usually use the calculator on my phone. Well, if I'm uploading a video or something and then I'm trying to do my log at the same time, I don't have access to my calculator. The newer GPS doesn't have a calculator on it like the old one did. I think even the 780 didn't have one. I think it was just like the 770 maybe did. So I always need to have just a portable little calculator. So I got this little guy. So that's one of the things I bought. Showed you my little ratchet set that I had forever. Well, I decided, you know, let's upgrade. I got points. Why not? So I got this new ratchet set. Great neck. Oh, great neck. And it's basically the same type of thing as my old one. Got the little ratchet thing over here, ratchet driver, different, you know, bits to put on it. And it even has little, you know, extra ratchet type bits down here. So yeah, got this. Got some more Gorilla Tape. You can never go wrong with some more Gorilla Tape, baby. Gotta love it. Some more of the Scotch 3M. I use this to like hold my, like I showed earlier, my 12 volt receptacle next to my dash shelf. Good for replacing your pre-pass or your easy pass if you you know, have to get your windshield replaced, which we do a lot in these trucks. So got some of that. A couple of these pilot pins. I like these pilot pins, and I had run out. I'm down to my last two. I keep one up here in my little holder. Let me show you that real quick. Got that at Duluth. Got that at Duluth Trading Company. Little pin holder. So I always have my pin handy. I love it. I found they do sell these kind of things in truck stops now. I saw one today inside the TA. The other thing I like about these pilot pins is I have my little notebook. I'm kind of old school. I write everything down. There's my current trip and everything. I want one that fits into the spiral, and the pilot pins do. So I like the pilot gel pins, these G2, and they had those. I like the 7 medium point, so got 2 of those. Saw this and I thought, well, I gotta have this. I'm a guy. Utility knife. A folding utility knife. See, folding utility knife. And 5 extra blades to go with it. When I was cutting my airlines and stuff the other day, I could have used one of these instead of these skizzers. So yeah, it's a guy thing. Utility knife, baby. Yeah, we love it. I've got a set of larger wrenches and stuff, but I don't have really small ones for when I'm doing smaller jobs. So they have this great neck This is an SAE, which is just means your standard. 3/8, 7/16, half inch, 9/16, 5/8. Good for most jobs. You got your open end and your close end. So I got a set of those. And I have a whole 15 pack of these waiting for me at home. The microphone covers for my Bluetooth. Because look, see? It's naked. The last one wore out, but they had a little pack of these with 3. I'm like, well, until I get home, now I've got replacements for that. So yeah, I think, oh, no, and one more big item. Oh, 2 more big items. I got this whole big set here. Another little great neck stubby tool set. So when you're trying to do stuff real close in on the engine and stuff like that, or where you don't have much room, you want the little stubby tools. So this has got a variety of sockets and hexes and flatheads and Phillips heads and all that, and a little stubby ratchet right here, which you can even feel outside of the case. So I got that. Now, then the problem becomes, where do you put all these things in one little place that's all convenient for you? Well, got this baby. Yeah, here's the thing on the side. It is the Sheffield Field Box. One thing I thought really interesting about this thing is, where does it say it on here? I know I saw it somewhere. All right, hang on a second. It's made in America, made in the USA. Can you believe it? Look, right here. Here's the label. Made in USA, believe it or not. It's amazing. It's not made in China. So a little mini toolbox that I can keep here inside the truck to hold all the gadgets I just showed you. Clutch Trucker's pretty excited. Oh, and I do want to mention, TA and Petro's making it easier now. Used to, you'd have to go to the kiosk and print out coupons. So, to get the right amount, you'd have to kind of figure it all up in your head ahead of time. Go to the kiosk and you're printing off like 18 different coupons to total the amount. It was ridiculous. Now you can do it all at the register with your Truck Smart app. She rang it up and she said it's $162.50. I typed that amount into the app, said to redeem, hit the little button, it comes up with a code, she scans that, bang, it's paid for. That's it. That was easy. Yeah, that's one thing I've never liked about the TA Petro program. It used to be a lot harder to redeem when you had to go get those damn coupons off the kiosk. Now, you do it right at the register. Clutch Trucker approved, baby. Okay, back to the repairs we spoke of earlier. Now that I'm parked, using my new ratchet set, I'm going to take those screws, that one screw and this one back out, so I can take the dash back apart. I did clean it once I got here. I love this kind of rosewood panel look, but boy does it show dust bad. Literally, I just cleaned this, and look, well, I saw a little chunk right there. I can get rid of it. Yeah, all right. But, still, you're going to see dust on the video, but I did the best I could and cleaned it all up, so it looks a lot better. For those of you who think I'm just a dirty guy and I don't clean, I do. All right, so let's take those screws back out. Okay, new bulb is in. Let's turn the lights on. Oops, see, there you go. And there's the dimmer on the dash. And yep, that gauge light is working. So now we'll shove it in the back of that gauge. Okay, you can verify that the light is coming in around the back of the gauge. That's the way that one works. It's a lot dimmer than the rest of the gauges on here from the way it is, because it uses an actual real bulb in it, unlike the rest of them. But it's working. Okay, next step is now I got to unscrew the panel on the back there near the bunk and get the other clock out that we're going to swap out for this bad one right here. All right, here's my clock in the back on this little panel. This has your switches. You can cut off your audio there if you want, and your dome lights and your controls for your air conditioner and fan, and a little light here in the back. I never use any of these, so that's why I'm just going to swap out the clock. Got to take out those 2 screws down there and those up there to access it. All right, I've pulled this panel down. Look at all the wiring back there, I tell you. All right, so we need to get to the clock, which is down there at the bottom. All right, it appears to be held in the same way the one was in the dash in the front. those 2 bolts in that bracket, so I'll go ahead and take those off. Nuts off the back of the bracket, pull the bracket away, and the clock should just fall through as it does. And I just got to trace down its plug-in and unplug it. And let's see, it seems to be going back there. Aha, here's the plug for it right here. So we'll undo that. So just find this interesting. So where's the clock made? China. Alright, now it's just simply a matter of unplugging the clock from inside the dash, and I'll plug the new one in. I just don't want to let go of this plug and have it fall back there, so I got to do this without the video. Okay, went ahead and plugged in the new one, and there it is right there. It seems to be working fine. So we'll stick that back in the dash, put the bracket back on the back, and put those nuts back on it. Don't need to show you that. It's the same way it was when putting it in, or taking it out. Alright. See, look how much dust has just collected. I just cleaned everything. Alright, so there's the new light there in the suspension gauge. And like I say, I just cleaned this. Look at this. It really just shows dust bad, I tell you. So there you go. There's my new clock from the back. There in the dash in the front. I just cleaned this dash. This is just ridiculous. I mean, I can't do any better than that. I tell you. Dust just shows up on everything. So anyway, there it is. All replaced. Now I just gotta put the dash back together. Same way as it came apart. Not gonna show you that. Alright, there it is. All put back together. Got my light on my air gauge there. Got the new clock swapped out, so it's working right. And everything's back where it should be. I got my line from my iPod snaking down there, and it pops out over here, so I can plug it in to charge it. And this is the audio line coming out that runs, snakes down underneath there, and it also pops out right there. It plugs in there so I can play my iPod. I got my phone connector, or the holder. It's a magnetic mount, so when I stick my phone down there, I plug it in right there, and it goes into the USB connector on the radio. So everything's now all beautifully put back together. Isn't it a beautiful thing? There you go. In my new little box, got my zip ties, got my Gorilla Glue, all my new little tools are in there. Oh, and forgot the Gorilla tape. We're going to go ahead and put in my scissors and my other tools that I've been keeping up in my front cab commander. So they'll all fit in there too. And there you go. Nice little fully loaded inside the truck toolbox. Yeah, baby. Well, thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed that and gave you some info. If you have a Coronado like me, that's how you crank open the dash and change out a light on a gauge, and you can swap out the clock. You can see how I did all that. Fairly easy stuff, you know, not too bad. Never pay somebody to do that for you. It's too easy. And yep, enjoyed my little shopping trip. I love it when I get to spend money and it's not even real money. It's just those points. That's fun. Get all that stuff for free, baby. Thank you. So got it all put in my little toolbox and it's all ready to go. Right, Rusty? Hey, please subscribe. Please like and comment if you would like to. Only if you'd like to. I get to your comments. Sometimes takes a day or two because I'm a working truck driver. Don't forget about Clutch Trucker on Instagram, Clutch Trucker on Twitter, and Patreon and coffee down in the description if you want to help support the channel. We'd appreciate that. As always, sniff that magic YouTube fairy dust. Clutch and Rusty, out. Alright, the rest of you bastards can gamble, but don't try no fargin tricks, or you end up with your bells in a sling.
Rusty! Here he comes.